thanks for joining our LevelUP episode. My name is Kinga and I am joined today by Claire. What we're going to do today is do a little bit of illustration design / graphic design, but really simple, just using shapes. So what I'm going to do is use Pixlr for this. So if you could go onto your internet browser and type in pixlr.com. So what I want you to do is just go on Pixlr. You will notice there's a Pixlr X, Pixlr, pricing plan, and so on. We're just going to use the free version Pixlr today. And I've actually showed up with some of my previous work already. Your screen might look a little bit different. We're actually gonna redesign this little panda bear here today. So just something a little bit different, something a little bit fun. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna press Create New. And we're gonna go for just a web small, should be more than enough for this. And create. Perfect. So as you can see, there's our canvas. It's completely empty right now, so we're going to start completely fresh. There's our little toolbar just on the left hand side here, so that's all the different tools. We're only going to use a couple of these today, so I'm not going to overload you with too much things. And we've got a couple of settings at the top here as well, which I'll have to use a little bit. And on the right hand side, we've got our layers. So our layers are quite important because each thing that you put into the image, whether it's a shape, whether it's a picture of something, will create a new layer. And to make the order of certain things be placed behind certain things, we might have to adjust the layers a little bit during this, but I'll take you through this process. So first of all, at the bottom on the left here, you will notice there's two little white circles. We're gonna give them colors. So I'm just gonna go for blue, and I'm gonna click on this circle again and go for another blue, this is just the same blue color as I just picked. Perfect. And we're gonna go to the shapes. So that's the little square with the circle just almost at the bottom of the left-hand panel. And I'm gonna just pick the rectangle shape just at the top here, which is exactly what we've already got. And I'm just gonna draw over the canvas just a background color, and that's gonna just be blue. If you've not managed to make it the right size, you can actually press V, and you can see there's a little sort of boxes around it, and now you can make it a little bit larger by pulling on these boxes. There we go. Perfect. So that just covers my canvas perfectly, and you just press enter. Perfect. So next we're gonna add another circle, but we're gonna have to change the color. So we're gonna go back to our color panel, and this time we're gonna go for green. But feel free to use other colors if you prefer. And I'm gonna go for green for the outer color as well, so it's all one color. And we're gonna go back to shapes on the left-hand side and pick a circle this time. Before I draw, on the layers panel, I'm just gonna add a new layer. So that's a little plus symbol here. I'm just gonna press empty. And I'm just gonna draw a circle, not completely round, a little bit flatter, because it's just gonna be where our panda's gonna be sitting. I'm just gonna move it a little bit here. You can see there's a little line that shows that you're just on the center of the page. I'll just place it down. So we're gonna go for another circle. This time I want to make it white, I believe. Let me just have a look at the image. Yeah, let's go for a white circle. So circle, white. Make both of the colors white again. We don't want any outlines on the shape. And add a new layer, empty again. And we're gonna go for a circle. So I'm gonna put it just here. Again, you can use the V key, so that's V for Victor, to move things about if you want to move the shape a little bit. I'm quite happy with it being just here. Perfect. And again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another layer. So you just do the plus sign, empty, or you could actually press layer from here and new layer. So if you add more layers and the plus sign disappears, don't worry, you can just add a new layer from the top bar. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw another circle, this time a little bit smaller. So we're gonna go for a sort of ear shape here. Again, remember V means you can move it if you don't like the original place of it. I'm quite happy with it here. And what you can actually do with this one, rather than making another one, you can just press this little, on the top bar here, there's a little symbol that's duplicate. So that's the two squares, duplicate it and move it. And there we go. That's the second ear, just like that.
Cool.
Perfect. And now we're gonna go for black circles. So change your both colors to black. And we're gonna, again, use a shape. So I'm doing it over it just now. So the white circle will disappear, but I'll show you how to use the layers panel to stop that. So I'm just making it a little bit bigger than the original circle. Perfect. And if I press B and just duplicate again and just put it over the circle. Perfect.
Nice.
So if I just grab it and move it a little bit here, so you can see how that one ear looks. However, layer 4 is called, obviously it's still over the second ear, so I'm just dragging it and dropping it below. And that should hopefully, oh, something happened. What I'm gonna do is just duplicate the white circle instead and put over it because something has not gone right there. Perfect. So that's our ears. Now, what we're gonna do is make the eyes. So the eyes, again, we're gonna use a black circle originally and draw, perfect, add a new layer, new layer, and draw a black circle. So as you can see, I've not placed it quite as well as I'd like. So I'm gonna move it a little bit. And this is the fun part. So we don't want a perfect circle for this. So what we're gonna do is use the top bar and press edit. And we're gonna press free distort. With free distort, that gives us little circles just around the edge. And if you just drag this circle like this, you can see that the shape totally changes. And that's exactly what I want to go for. And when you're ready with that shape, just duplicate that shape on the top bar. And this time we're also gonna flip it horizontal. So this is the little shape on the top bar here with the little triangles. And we're just gonna move it just in the position there. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change the color to have a white outline, or at least I'm pretty sure this is the outline button. I could be making a slight error here, so just bear with me. So we're going to do layer, new layer, and with the circle shape, oh, there we go, that's perfect.
Ooh.
So we've got black at the bottom, white at the top for the colors. And then again, just gonna do layer, new layer, and add another eye. And just move it slightly. Perfect. And now we're gonna add 2 white circles. So this time we just want to have both of the colors white at the bottom. And again, we're gonna add layer, new layer, and we're gonna draw 2 just very little circles just on the end there.
Oh.
There we go. Maybe a little bit bigger actually. Perfect. And now we are going to make the nose. So we're going back to our black colors. And we're gonna pick the circle again. So shape, circle. And we're gonna draw, again, just a nice little circle. Perfect. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use the distort button. So edit, free distort, and I'm just gonna change the shape slightly. So I'm just gonna pull this one a little bit that way, and then this one again a little bit that way. Might pull this one a little bit further away. This one again a little bit further away. There we go. That's starting to look like a nose. So as you can see, this is a sort of almost triangular shape I ended up with the circles. And we're done. I've just noticed that somehow I've managed to lose my white eye. So let me just go back onto that. Very quickly, just do them again. There we go. And duplicate that. And there we go. That's the other eye just there. Perfect. Okay, so the mouth, again, we are going to use black for this on both of the colors. So the mouth I always find a little bit tricky to do. However, I'm sure we'll manage. So we're going to go for circles again. As you can see, I'm going to mainly use circles for most of these shapes. Adding a round panda. So new layer. And we're going to draw a black circle just around here. I do have to move it a little bit, just almost touching the tip of the nose. I'm going to duplicate that circle. And again, just touching the tip of the nose. I know that looks like a very strange mouth at the moment, but I promise this is a process and we will make it look good in a second. So from there, we will again change colors to white. Perfect. And I'm gonna just again add a new layer. And we are going to draw another circle, but this time just a little bit flatter. Something like this. And then I'm just gonna maybe move it a little bit. You can adjust the size of it. Might have to use free distort for this in a second because it's just a little bit. So we're going to do edit, free distort. If your one doesn't look quite right like my one, just feel free to distort it to what you want it to do. But the point is to make almost like a little loop shape here whilst keeping as much of the nose as possible. There we go. Something like this should do nicely. And now we will duplicate that and flip horizontal at the top bar again. And we will do this. I might need to just adjust it a little bit, make it maybe a little bit bigger. This little hand symbol in the circle allows you to actually rotate it a little bit. There we go. That's starting to look a little bit more like a mouth now. There we go. There we go. And you end up with something like this. So we're gonna add a new layer again. So layer, new layer, and this time we're changing our colors to black. So just at the bottom, both of the colors should be black. And we are going to make a circle, quite a big one, bigger than its head. And I'm just going to use V from my keypad and move it a little bit. Don't worry about covering its face. That's what layers we for. We will move it behind the face soon. And again, if we do edit, free distort, and we will just make the shape a little bit more egg-like. So it's almost flat at the bottom. There we go.
My panda's a lot bigger than your panda.
Oh, really? Oh, I've accidentally went off. Let me just do that again. There we go. And perfect. Amazing. So apply. Perfect. Amazing. So now we're gonna duplicate that shape. And this time we're just gonna change its color. So to change its color, you're gonna first change your colors here, just as you would normally. And this time you are using the little fill. So it looks like a paint bucket. You press fill and just press on the shape. Ta-da! Color is changed. So now I'm gonna make the shape a little bit smaller. And just inside it, I might maybe use, if you like, you can use free distort again, just so it's not as symmetrical. So I'm just gonna pull these top ones a little bit further here. There we go, some more egg-like. And we're repeating the same process. So again, we're just gonna duplicate that shape. And this time we're gonna color it in black. And use the paint bucket and press on it. And then we'll use the V to be able to press on it. And again, we're making it just a little bit smaller. Again, you could use free distort to change the shape just a little bit so it's not quite as symmetrical. I might make it maybe a little bit fatter here. There we go. And lastly, we're gonna duplicate it once more. And again, we're changing it to white. And use the paint bucket to change its color. But this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it vertical. So that's the little button besides flipping it horizontal in the top bar. And again, make it just a little bit smaller. And edit, free distort. And this time I'm going the opposite direction. Give it a little white belly. There we go. Amazing. You should end up with something like this. So obviously right now his face is behind him, but don't worry, we will fix that. Next, what I want to do is his arms. So his arms, we're actually gonna do the rounded rectangle shape, but first of all, if I could just get you to change your colors back to black. And once you do that shape, and we're gonna go rounded rectangle. And you just draw a rectangle kind of downward. Oh, sorry, actually, I forgot to add a new layer. If you make a mistake like I did, you can do Command Z, or you could do, I think there's an undo button somewhere. Yeah, so edit, undo is the other one there. So I will just need to make a new layer. Perfect. And just draw a black rectangle. I might need to make maybe my radius just a little bit bigger actually. Let me delete that rectangle and draw another one very quickly, see if that looks better. Yeah, so I want to go for a much rounder, so where your radius is, you can change how round the ends of it are. So that looks a little bit better. Layer, new layer. Okay, let me go do that again. So shape, and there we go. Perfect. And now I'm going to use V to move it, rotate it a little bit more this way. Again, doesn't look quite right, but what we will do is use edit and free distort. So it's almost taking the shape around the belly by pulling this one here. Might have to move this a little bit. There we go. Moving down. That's sort of the shape that I've ended up with. And I'm just gonna press enter to save that, or you can press apply at the top bar here. And when I selected the shape, I'm just gonna duplicate it and flip it horizontally and just quickly move it here. Perfect. So you can see how his arms have taken a bit of a shape here. Amazing. Okay, so now we're gonna have to move the layers. We're gonna have to move the layers a little bit so we can see his face. So let's do that. So let me have a wee check what layer is gonna be the first two. So I'm just gonna start dragging the top layers just on top of layer 2. That's probably the easiest. I've got my layer 24 under layer 3, and as you can see, his little arms moved right behind his head. So if I just do that again with the new top layer, which is layer 24, in my case, you might have a slightly different numbers. And again, I am gonna move that layer . So I've just moved it again under layer 3. So that's both of his arms behind his head. And now I'm moving another layer down. Oh, see how his little belly changed its colors is because we've moved the layer down, but don't worry, we will get those colors back. So this time I am going to move this there, perfect, and just keep going with the same layers until they all move behind his little head.
I mean, he's starting to look like a panda, but he is a very large panda that I've made.
got him back. So last, we're just gonna do his feet. So this is very simple. So we're going on black again. Just draw, sorry, add a new layer. Again, Command Z or edit, undo if you've made a mistake. So layer, new layer, and draw, oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong shape. Layer, new layer, make sure you're on circle. And draw just a nice big circle. Maybe move it a little bit here. And again, we're just gonna duplicate that and move one just here. And then we are gonna draw another circle, but this time in white. Remember, change your color to white. Add a new layer. And we're going to draw a circle inside the black circle, but just sort of at the bottom half. Remember, you can press V to move this slightly if it's not quite the right color, the right place even. And now we're gonna duplicate that circle, move it to the other paw. And lastly, we're just gonna use the rounded rectangle, and we're gonna draw very little white. It looks like I've got to change my radius. Let me undo that. So let's make a radius of about 10 for this one. Let's see if that works better. So layer, new layer. That's better. Perfect. So I'm just gonna move it a little bit. Perfect. And duplicate. And duplicate again. And just keep moving so it starts to look a little bit more like a paw. Duplicate again. This time move it to another foot.
Ooh.
And duplicate. And if you just want to maybe put your name on it or just write a really funny caption or something like that, what you can do is press the little text sign. So it's just a little T on the left part there. And you just click on where you want to add a text layer. There we go. We're going to add that. And you're just going to start writing. So I'm just going to write smile. And if you want to move that, you just need to press off of it, and there we go. My writing's a little bit too big. I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller by using this. There we go. And you can change the font. So I'm gonna go for Adios Amigos font. Okay, that actually makes it a little bit smaller, so make it a bit bigger. There we go. And what you can then do, if you're happy with your drawing, you can obviously play about with the colors, do something different to it. But once you're happy, you can press File on the top bar, Save, and you can save it. I normally would recommend using the JPG, so JPEG or PNG file. You can download it, save it on your desktop. If you are lucky to have a printer, you can print it from there. If not, just show it to your friends. You know, if you've got Facebook or Instagram, feel free to put it on that. But that just shows you a really, really easy way to create, you know, animals just from shapes. You don't need to have any particular skill set to draw these. You just need some shapes and a software like Pixlr, Paint, or anything like that to use it. How did you find that, Claire?
Good. Yeah. My panda doesn't look as nice as your panda.
Can I see it? It'll be nice to share it. Let me stop sharing my screen and let's see what your one looks like. Oh, amazing! Oh, and I love how you went for different colors.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I like the way that you use the shapes for distorting the circles, but you can see what I mean about his little mustache.
Well, this is the thing. Your one could have a mustache rather than a mouth. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me, Claire. And I hope everyone at home can do something or do other animals. Feel free to share them on the YouTube channel as well with us, guys.